Welcome to the next video in the Next Steps for the Church series. And we've been going through kind of what are the goals we're reaching for? What do we want a church to look like? We've talked about how when the church is doing well, people should be becoming mature. We've talked about how we really are called to be ambassadors. We've talked about what does it mean to recognise and release gifts in the church. We've talked about what does it mean to be disciples and to enter into the disciplines of being a disciple. We've talked about what does it mean to love our neighbours. We've talked about what does it mean to be led by Jesus. And we've talked about what does it mean to be a family. Finally, in terms of one of the goals we're reaching for, next week we'll start talking about, okay, what does all this mean? But in terms of one of the goals, one of the things that comes through very clearly in Jesus' words, particularly in the book of John, is that the church is meant to have a corporate life, a way of relating to each other that establishes for the people outside the church a picture of something that they see the truth of who Jesus is and what he's about through the way we live together. And so that the goal we should be reaching for is this kind of life that speaks to people outside the church. And what kind of life is it? Well, Jesus says, when he prays for us in John 17, he says, I pray also for those who believe in me through their message, that all of them may be one, Father, just as you are in me and I am in you. May they also be one, may they also be in us, so the world may believe that you have sent me. That the church is to be one and in Jesus so that the world will know that the Father sent Jesus. He goes on and he says, I in them and you in me, that they may be brought to complete unity. Then the world will know that you sent me. And just turning over the page here. And have loved them even as you have loved me. So Jesus seems to be saying that as we are open to him, we'll learn to love each other genuinely and we will become one. And that oneness will speak. Earlier he says, a new command I give you is to love each other as I have loved you. And it's by your love for each other that the world will know that I've sent you. That somehow the kind of church we want to be is a church where we love each other, where we're real. And it's not a performance, it's not a service on a Sunday morning, it is us being real and really learning how to love each other. So I just want to raise that as one of the questions about what it means to be the church. And say, okay, what does that mean? What does it mean for us to be the kind of church where we sincerely and really love each other and where we're one, and that as a result of that, we our corporate life speaks to those who are outside the church. So very, very clearly and very clearly, it's not only about us being one, but we must also then be connected with people outside the church so that they can then see that life. So Jesus' plan for mission seems to be our corporate life that speaks. People should look at the church and go, there's something different about them. There's something different about the way they relate to each other, and I want that. So as we bring to an end this discussion of some of the goals or some of the things we'd be reaching for as a church, this is the final one. What does it mean for us to have a corporate life that speaks to people outside the world? What does it mean, outside the church rather? What does it mean for us to so love each other, to have that kind of level of community that people go, I want that. Like in Acts chapter 2 where it says, all the ordinary people liked them. And I think that's the picture of what the church is meant to be. It's meant to be a place where people are real and love each other and experience a kind of community that people who are outside the church feel like they want to be part of that. So until next week, where we start to talk about, okay, so how do you do all that? And what does all that mean? encourage you to think about that. And if you've got any feedback, we'd love to hear from you in the comments section. But thanks for being part of this discussion.